Hello, welcome back to another one of our trams vlogs. Now, as you can see, we're away from the tram site itself, and we've come to the conservation studios of Nick Boys, our conservationist on the project. Now, as some of you have been following us, 2 years ago we discovered under the statue of Robert Burns in Leith a time capsule dated to 1898, which is this one over here. And we had great excitement on Burns Night 2020, live opening the contents of this, and it's been a fantastic 2-year project of looking into what we found. And my colleague Elena, the producer of these vlogs, who's standing behind the camera, did a wonderful interview a couple of weeks ago with the sergeant at Leith Police Station. Excuse me, I'll need to get her name correct. Elaine McCarthy-Kerr, sorry, and it really sparked a lovely debate about being drunk in charge of horses, cattle and other nefarious crimes in 1898, which sort of brings us neatly up to date today. It's the start of December 2021. Now, you might notice on the left hand side a new time capsule with the date 2022, and that leads into something we might be doing early next year. Now, Nick has been very busy, obviously preserving the artefacts, and obviously making this new time capsule in the style of the original. And you might see in the background occasionally Nick's very new assistant, Ludo, who may interrupt proceedings at time to time, but it's 2021 on that slide. Hi Nick, how are you doing?
Very good, John, thank you.
Thank you. So, hello, sorry, the assistant came in there. As you can see, we've got a range of objects which we'll discuss later on, but just talk through maybe how you came, your design process about the new time capsule, and any sort of conservation things that we had to think about putting these items in.
Very good, with pleasure. So this was the time capsule that we found within the plinth construction of Robbie Burns' statue. And this is the one that I famously opened. And I opened it, my friends commented kindly on my hacksaw action and my method of opening this. Yeah. But during this process, what came absolutely clear to me was just how successful this vessel was for carrying items from 1898 through to 2019-2020. We were frustrated by opening this easily because the top had been fused shut, and I now know that the reason the top had been fused shut was because it had been opened in 1961 when they placed all manner of other items in this time capsule. So 1898, a wonderful device, a brilliant vehicle for taking items into the future, and so it really just then was the basis of my inspiration for creating what is effectively a facsimile. The only difference being it's the same code of there, it's the same construction of lid, it's got the date 2021 on it, but it is the most beautifully manufactured item.
I think it's actually great that you can actually do homage to what was done in the past, and it's the same technique of a time capsule. And I feel like having dates on it as well for thanks to any future archaeologists, at least we know the date. At least, well, you should always screening dates as well, but at least it's a handy hint.
So this was laid in a beautifully cut niche within the internals of the plinth construction, but it was actually crushed. It had suffered some impact damage in the past. So during the reconstruction process, not only was it welded back up, but it was also pushed back out.
As part of the design, we're obviously we're actually creating two new spaces in the new plinth as well.
That's right. So this will go back into that beautifully cut, contoured socket. We will, in terms of our successors finding these time capsules, they'll find this one first, and then they'll find ours lower down in the construction.
As the city's archaeologist and also the Conservation Heritage, so hopefully the Robert Burns statue will take a long time to come down again. I just like to put that on record for everybody. Yeah, so we're concentrating today largely, we'll talk about the objects that we might protect, but obviously you've been involved over the last 2 years in the conservation and the redesign, I should say redesign of the new capsules that are going in. Is there anything about the conservation of the Burns statue itself that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, so from a conservator's point of view, this project has been fascinating because of the sort of multimedia aspect of it. What I mean by that is different materials. So starting with the statue itself, we've got the bronze figure of Robert Burns, we've got the red sandstone construction of the plinth, which is beautifully carved. There are nuances that I really have enjoyed discovering within that statue. The letter cutting is exquisite, for example, and the carving is just beautiful. Dating, obviously, from 1898. Then we come down to the Time Capsule. You say we've got, the statue itself has got different layers of it, it's got different materials now, Dawson now. So we go from the large to the small items, like the leg capsule. Exactly. So we've got the bronze figure of Robert Burns, we've got the red sandstone of the plinth, we've got these lead time capsule, and then we have the very fine items. We found gold, we found silver, we found parchment, and we found newspapers. And this has inspired us to configure our own contents in a similar way to our predecessors. I think it's been a great, this is a project, we're obviously working with Lake and Wrestle and Gray, and what we're trying to do is recreate what they put back in 1898, so we have a time capsule of what's happening today, obviously December 2021, because we have to put them in today, we can't put them in on the day of the unveiling. So, as I say, we've done a great project, so as Nick was alluding to, we found original papers, so we got papers from today, some of the headlines are shall we say, they're very disturbing. Murder trial just recently, but there's a whole range of it, so it gives people an idea of what we've got. So we're trying to recreate the papers that were put in 1898. Some of them do not exist today, but obviously we've got papers of record, we've got the Times and the Scotsman here, obviously there's the papers of record of the UK and Scotland, and again more into local evening news and the national. So we're trying to give a relative range. We can't do every single paper because we've only got a limited amount of space in that time. That's right. Let's put the Beano in the car. That's done. We can't do it. Can't do it. But we've also tried to recreate. So we've got, as Elena did a fantastic interview, and I'd say the police have been brilliant with us. So we're trying to have a record of what's happening at least today. A sort of letter from them. We're also, let's not forget that this contains a book. It does, a hardback book, no less. Yeah, that's one of the things we did do. So we've gone through our whole process of last year through COVID. We've been working with Victoria Primary School. We've done 20 fantastic poems, and some have been selected for incorporation within it. We've managed to also have a poem commissioned from the former Edinburgh Maca, which is going in as well. There's a whole series of sort of thing. We've got, as Nick was alluded to, we've got a book about Constitution Street that was written about, in partly to the original tram works, but from the Gemma who was arrested in Constitution now moved out. So we're getting that time capsule. We've also got, as we're living through COVID and our pandemic, so what's the most relative, we can't put a booster jabbing because they're far more important for ourselves, but we've gone down to your masks. So non-branded, we say we'll try and hand the brand, but we've got a mask. And as anything, like all time capsules, it's traditional to put coins in. Everybody likes a coin. So we've got a series of coins from today, from this year, to go in as well. So I think it's really trying to capture them. And obviously, last but not least, we've been contacted with the Burn Societies as well. So we're encapsulating their thoughts. I've written a lovely letter to people in the future. So the idea is about capsules, commemorating today and thoughts of all of us. It's been a horrendous 2 years from all of us, and thoughts and wishes to the people in the future. So I think it's really quite exciting. Yeah. It's not every day you get a chance to speak to our future. It's not. And as archaeologists, we look in the past, and it's a bit strange looking to the future, he says in a sort of way, but I think that's brilliant. And thank you, Ludo, for your assistance.
Thank you.